Hi everyone. This is my first stream. I hope this is working. I apologize. This is my first time on Twitch, first stream ever, and I'm nervous AF. I don't know what I'm saying also, but just trying to figure this out. So bear with me while I do this. Yeah, I thought I'll just dive into the deep end of the pool and just do it. I thought I'd spend some time just giving a quick intro of who I am, what this channel is about, and correct me if it's not called channel, it's called something else. Thank you for joining my stream if you are. Who am I? I am a chef, a marketer, actor, editor, and some people have told me now I'm also a content creator, which sounds very weird to me because this is my first ever thing that's going to go on Twitch, and I'm doing this. That's who I am. What is thelewaali? Let's start with the pronunciation first, right? It's Tele Wali, right? I also was told that I should potentially change the name into something else because a lot of non Indians will have trouble pronouncing Telewali. And I realized that, well, there are so many French, Italian, German, Swiss names that we kind of figure out. So it shouldn't be that hard to kind of do Telewali as well. What does Telewali mean? It has a very deep, very important meaning for me. I started my culinary journey, well, I started it way back when I was a kid, but I truly started thinking about it seriously about a decade ago. And like a true marketer, the first thing that I thought about was, hey, what name should I come up with? And I realized that the food that has influenced me the most or that gets me happy the most is street food. No matter where you go, which country, which city, you're always drawn to the food on the streets, or at least I am. And there's something very interesting about street food. I have never been disappointed with street food no matter where I go. I'm always drawn to the flavors, always drawn to the food, no matter how greasy it is or whatever it is. And I find that to be incredible. So, my whole mission was that whenever I make food, which I do now regularly, I will make food that is truly flavorful. And this was like an homage to all the telas or the street vendors or the street carts that I have visited in some of my limited travels that I've done, but mostly in India, which is where I'm really from. And Tele, usually these street vendors are male, so men usually don a lot of these telas. But I mean, since I'm not a man and I don't identify as one, I was like, oh, I'm going to change the gender and call it Telewali. So this is also an homage to all the feminists out there, and probably my way of saying that, well, it doesn't have to be a man's world. We can all share some space. And so that's really what this channel or the name is all about. And let me actually go back to my Twitch account because I want to say on my Streamlabs account, have you ever fallen sick after eating street food? Surprisingly, no, I haven't. That was a question that came up on chat. I haven't. And I get it. A lot of people are like, hey, we can't deal with the water, we can't deal with, the hygiene. But let me tell you something. I've worked in restaurants in Paris, Bombay, Boston, DC. What you see, even in a classy Michelin restaurant, is not as hygienic as you would think. And I can vouch for that. I'm going to probably get into some trouble. But yeah, honestly, hygiene is a little overrated in a lot of these places, barring one that I worked in. So no, I have never fallen sick. I also feel it's a little bit of a psychosomatic thing. So you have to be like, no, I'm going to be okay. So that's really what Telewali is. And what am I going to do on this stream? Well, I am going to cook and talk about it. So that's something that I truly want to do. And this is just, as a friend of mine described, this is probably my voice or my medium to kind of show what I'm cooking. My heritage is Indian, so there will be obviously a lot of Indian food. Nope, we're not talking about butter chicken, naan, all of that crap, because especially in the West, it's crap, and I wouldn't recommend anybody eat that crap. It's going to be food that I consume on a daily basis. So maybe what's for lunch or what's for dinner. I'm going to be talking about that. I'm also hoping as I get familiar with the platform and I know how this works, and hopefully I get a few more followers than probably just a few that I have, or probably one that I have. Um, I'm going to be reviewing some of the restaurants that I visit, talking about the food, talking about the experience, talking about everything there is that I love or not love, to be honest. So that's another thing that I'm hoping to do. I'm also hoping to teach you some tips and tricks that I learned in culinary school, or I've learned over the past few years from some really, really wonderful chefs. Um, Hopefully, sharpen knives together, hopefully, organize our station together, hopefully, figure out how to chop onions the right way, which, by the way, I'm still learning. And a lot of rant, really, right? So there are, I mean, the first thing is Indian food and the bastardization of Indian food, and how the West looks at it, how we as immigrants have done a terrible job of representing our own cuisine. Reasons I understand, reasons I know, but I also feel that there is so much more to Indian food than the crap that we see. It only represents maybe 1 or 2% of the entire country's cuisine, and it's a pretty diverse country. I'm also going to talk about just a lot of these food trends or things that are considered to be amazing. A lot of fondant cakes, which I think are the worst things ever and the worst thing that you can do to yourself. So hopefully we'll make some fantastic desserts together. I hate the word fusion, but French, Indian inspired desserts. Some classic traditional French desserts. Some entremets, which is this beautiful layered cake. I apologize. That is my Google Home going crazy because it thought I was talking to it. But yeah, so that. And a lot of other things. There are.
Do you still want to make that recipe?
Hey Google, stop. Anyway,
How can I be of service?
Google's going crazy. I love it. And then also talk about a whole bunch of other things that are important to me. Please ignore Google in the background. But it'll all revolve around food in some way or the other, because it all comes back to that. And that's really what I am most passionate about. That's also why I left my marketing career to go to culinary school at the peak age of 37 and figure everything out from scratch. So, yeah, unless there are other questions popping up, which I don't think there are, that's really what thelewaali is all about. That's really what I would love to talk to you guys about, and hoping this is fun for everyone. Thank you for bearing with me. Which culinary school did you go to? I went to Le Cordon Bleu in Paris, which I'm proud to say is the world's #1 culinary school, cited by some few folks. And it was a very interesting experience because now that is well, yes, it's a French, exactly my point. It's a French school, and I'm sure I'm murdering the pronunciation, but it's LCB Paris. Even if you Google that, you'll find out what it is. And I went to a traditional French school, but my leaning is towards Indian food and Indian cooking. Probably we'll save that for another day where I can tell you all about that, and what I learned, what I loved, what I did not. And yeah, so that's it from me. Thank you again for joining, and hopefully the next time around I will know and Google won't interrupt us anymore. Take care, you guys. Bye.